Whew. So, good morning, first of all. Today I'm spending about $622,000 exactly, plus legal fees and a few other expenses to support that. And I'm going to run you through all that. We're going to get into it. But first, I have to check up on a couple of the e-commerce brands, make sure everything's going good. Got a couple calls scheduled, and then headed to title to go sign for a couple properties, which we'll get into here in a moment. Today involves about $1.2 million worth of real estate transactions, and I'm super excited for it. So, without further ado, make sure to drop a like on the video, and I got to check on these e-commerce stores. So this right here is kind of my main thing. I just like to check every single day, see what the exact sales volume is, see if I need to make any changes to the ads. I try not to do too much too soon in the morning. Today's at 1,200 on this store. Yesterday was a little lower than average, about 8,000. The previous day was about 13. But yeah, this one's just over 100,000 for the month, and then I have another I'll show you. And that one today so far, whoop, focus in, $300. Usually the sales pick up later in the day, so as you can kind of see on the graph, it's a little bit slower and everything picks up. So that's why I try not to make too many ad changes, because the cost can fluctuate a little bit throughout the day. And this one as well is, I think, just past 90. So yeah, about 200 just between those two main brands. Those are like brands that I'm working on, not just a couple of the other stores that I have and stuff, but those are like rock solid brands where we're doing a lot more than just selling products. Unfortunately, no time for breakfast today, so 2 of these. Most protein bars have a lot of sugar. These are just rock solid, a lot of fiber, not a lot of protein, they're pretty thin, but that just means 2 of them equals 1 normal size, so good to go. Okay, and cutting it real close with time, I was just on the phone trying to get the insurance policy set up. For some reason, it wasn't fully activated. I didn't have the document. It's early Monday morning, nothing had gone through yet, and I need that to close. And I'm like, yeah, I'm headed to closing in like 5 minutes. So thankfully they work some magic, just because I've worked with them before. They already had a bunch of information on file, so it's pretty quick and easy. So they're literally emailing it to me while I'm driving to closing right now. But anyways, let's cold start this thing. Oh, she is angry and unfortunately not gonna get time to warm up this morning. Sorry. Oh no, 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 it's got the engine light. It's just some stupid code that needs to be cleared. So I got the ECutech plugged in. Come on, baby, load. The car will not go without this code. It will not go above 8 miles an hour. I'm telling you, GTRs and their tuning are ridiculous. Secondary air injection system, which is just something to do with emissions, like totally ridiculous, means nothing. All right, off. And voila. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have time at the moment to give you all the details, so I'll have to do it after signing. But today I am selling one property, a duplex that I purchased for $375,000. I put about $25,000 into it. It is cash flowed every single month. It's given me huge depreciation benefits against my income. And now I am selling that property for $562,000 in cash. It is a cash transaction. And I am doing what's called a 1031 exchange, meaning I am now deferring all those taxes into this next property, which is the 6 unit that I'm buying today. So it's really convenient because I never touch the money. That's part of the 1031 exchange. I have an accommodator for it. It's a legal group. Their company holds the funds, but they're actually never going to get to see the money themselves. And the reason for that is I'm signing both properties at the same time, and we're closing within a matter of hours. So the funds are just going to be held by title, because it's the title company that I use out here that's doing both the transactions. So the funds can actually stay with title and then just be sent out, which makes the process a lot easier, a lot faster, and I think a little bit cheaper. So that's very convenient. It's going to be a quick close. Shouldn't be any problems. There's that little hiccup with having the proper insurance documents, but no problem. That's solved. Small things. And yeah, now I'm off to closing. Let's do it.
Any questions on the settlement statement here for the sale?
No, looks good.
Sign and date that one. Today is the 31st
already, yeah.
Jeez.
So I obviously didn't film the signing. I don't even know if that's allowed, but nonetheless, it would be weird. But signed a couple documents, more like 200, but took about 30 minutes, and then I was out of there. All right, just like that. Everything is signed and done. There was only one little hiccup that I'm waiting to see if we can amend it. It's really not a big deal. Just some little detail that the lender added in that they shouldn't have. So other than that, I'm headed back. I need to eat and then go to the gym. So that's the plan. All right, another quick check-in on the e-commerce stores today. This one so far, as you can see, the spend picking up a little bit later in the day. It's 9 o'clock right now. Been working on the ads for the last hour or so on this one, just working to optimize a few things, waiting for new ad creatives to come in that'll help scale us to like 300,000 at least next month. So that one's been going good. Let me give you an update on number 2. So this one's at about $1,000. A lot of ads got killed. Yeah, I mean, it's just been sitting. Honestly, the only issue with this one is inventory. With Chinese New Year going on, we don't have enough inventory, and it just is what it is. We're going to sell, if we would have stayed at the current level of scale, would have sold probably 6,000 products, and there's like 1,400 sitting in inventory. So this had to be scaled back from, as you can see real quick. There we go. So yeah, obviously just kind of slowing it down a little bit, which really sucks. You know, it just is what it is, but the margin is ridiculous right now too. Well, it's really low. I mean, it's like 70%. So that's not too bad. I can't complain, but it's spending next to nothing. So that's a fun one, working on just trying to really dial in the inventory side of things so that scaling is not going to be a problem as we get towards the end of February. So that's what's been going on there. But I have all these nice long documents here. I mean, it is just so many pages, but I think that I need to toss you on the tripod so we can talk about it. So today was a super great day, can't complain, had some good food, got to the gym, signed on the properties, and got a bunch of work done. So, you know, just taking one step forward. Now, I want to break down the numbers. I want to talk about it. I'm actually going to throw up pictures of both the finalized like overview closing statements, just so you can see like kind of all the numbers. I'm going to blur out, obviously, as I hope you can understand any information that I have to. But, you know, we could talk about the duplex first. That was kind of what fueled this. I do have the cash sitting on the sidelines for the deal, just in case the event where the duplex wasn't going to close. As I had mentioned, it is a cash sale. The buyer who now owns the duplex, congratulations, that's a great property. It'll be worth $750 grand in the next 2-3 years. So you did good. They showed 10 million liquid, so we knew that they were serious. The only reason that cash buyer came in was because we had actually fallen out of being under contract. The previous person who was purchasing was doing normal financing, and they decided to back out on closing day. So it put me in a little bit of a pinch in terms of doing the 1031, and I didn't want to extend the 6-unit property's closing window. So I would have just funded it myself, but I also have 2 other deals that are under contract, and hopefully 2 more going under contract. So it was just good. I really wanted to see the 1031 process, but let's talk about the duplex. So I sold the duplex for 500, and you're gonna have to excuse my handwriting. Oh my God, that's terrible. I'm trying to do it backwards. $563,000, okay? We'll put a K. People do that because they're cool with a K. Okay, so this property, I will throw up a picture right now so you can kind of follow along. I'll move to the side here. This is a little bit more of the information behind it. So as you can see, the payoff to that top line right up there, I will circle it. That is $284,000. That was my outstanding mortgage on the property. Now, I've owned it for 2 years. Keep in mind, been paying $1,516, so just over $1,500 every single month. And at one point, it was bringing in $2,400. Okay, and then it got up to $2,800, and then $3,000. It's been stable at $3,000 for the last year, for literally a year straight. No issues, no headache, no maintenance, no nothing. It has all been rock solid, maybe a little $100 plumbing thing. So that property's been perfect, and I had about 50% equity sitting in the property, like exactly 50%, which was great. I was super comfortable with that, but nonetheless, the bank has to be paid back. Top to bottom through here, you can just see different fees, security deposit fees. I just credit that in the sale to the person who's purchasing the property, so there's no outside transactions, just all included inside of here. You can see the commissions, the 2 different realtors, my realtor as well, who thankfully takes a discounted commission when I'm selling properties, not when I'm buying, so appreciate you guys. We do a good amount of volume, and I'm looking forward to doing more. Escrow fees, again, blocking out names just for security purpose, to different title fees, $485, $1,575, $450, and then the bottom here, which is where things got interesting for me. The very bottom line item there was an exchange fee too, and I'm not going to say the name of the company that I use for the 1031. However, that was $895. I had no idea how much, zero idea how much money it would cost to do a 1031. I didn't really care if it was $500 or $5,000. It doesn't really make a difference. I never even asked. They were a referral from somebody else who's done multiple 1031s, and I was like, cool, I'm using you. So it was pretty simple. As you can see there, subtotals, and then again, after you just really get rid of all the expenses, obviously commissions being the largest portion of that. My net proceeds, net to me, what could have been wired into my bank or a check in my hand if I chose to do that and not do the 1031, would have been $244,300.10. So I just want to point out a couple numbers, okay? Because a lot of people might really have the wrong idea about how much money I actually made on this property. I want to talk about the tax liability perspective. I had $56,000 of depreciation that I've taken on the property, which means I make X amount of money in a year. This was over a 2-year period. I can say that this property has depreciated through different cost segregations. I can accelerate that, and I can now get a write-off against my income and take that on the property. But now when you sell the property, not when you refinance, when you sell the property, that has to be paid back. So this is probably equated to, I don't know, $15,000, maybe $18,000 that is owed. So I had gotten tax benefits throughout the previous years. So that would have to be recaptured. That's the word for that. Now, this can all be deferred. All of those taxes that would have to be paid back get deferred to a later date. Not eliminated, just deferred, and that date can be whenever you choose to no longer basically do a 1031. So that is the summary here of what was going on, and I only owed $283 on the property, $284, my bad. So out of all this, I was in the property about $110,000. Now, it also cash flowed about $800 to $900 every single month for the last almost 2 years. A little bit of periods where we were renovating, units were empty for a month or two. That's about it. So it was cash flowing really well. I also paid down mortgage balance, and I wasn't even the one doing that. The mortgage is being paid by the tenants technically. So it was really, really solid. The numbers worked really well. I really loved the property. Super sad to see it go, but I wanted to learn this process. Now, from a 1031 perspective, I'm just here documenting. I might, I'm sure I know there's people on YouTube showing bigger exchanges and this and that. I just want to document the process. I thought that there would be a little bit more work involved. It was nothing. Figure out who you want to use for a 1031 exchange. You need an accommodator. You cannot touch that money, otherwise you lose your 1031 and you have to pay taxes. So set up that accommodator and basically put them in touch with your title company. That's it. There was like 3 extra documents right here, and they're like stapled together that I had to sign while at the closing table, and that was it. Like, it was actually phenomenally easy, and so great experience, great process. They made it super simple. So what I really want to point out here, there was $244,000. So let me get rid of this. $244,000 was coming to me. Okay, $244K. Now, the new property, I will throw up the purchase, the acquisition numbers behind the 6 unit. So again, blocking out any sensitive information, top to bottom. The sale price of the property, I am purchasing it for $622,000. This property was listed for $599,000. I instantly offered $605. They said we were competing with somebody else who basically had the same offer, same terms, same everything. 50% chance they're completely lying. I don't really care. I bumped the offer immediately to $632,000, making sure that I outbid them because most people will use whole numbers. So let's say I in my mind, I said the person probably just made a $610,000 offer, maybe a $620. But what if they made a $630? It's possible. So let me go $632 just to really get myself up there. The last thing I'm concerned about is the purchase price. Doesn't really matter to me. It makes a very negligible difference on that side of things. Like I always say to my friends who are cheap asses with real estate, if the deal doesn't work over 10 or 20 grand, the deal doesn't work. Stop. Like stop tripping over pennies. Now, I also got $10,000 in credit back after the inspection. So write in your long Binzer list of things that are incorrect, need to be repaired. This property had a whole list of things that are not safe, huge hazards and liability. So those will be getting fixed immediately. But the purchase price was $622,000. Now I got credit for the security deposits and everything. Again, just like you saw the opposite direction of that, where I was crediting that back in the sale of the duplex. Now you see me receiving that in the acquisition of this 6 unit. Okay. Different fees. Loan fee. This property I purchased using hard money. The reason I did that is because the primary lender backed out of this and another deal after my financing contingency, and I couldn't go do regional bank, national bank, and I mean this deal wouldn't qualify for agency debt, but a standard normal commercial loan, there just wasn't enough time. I can refinance later. I can put it on long-term debt. There's no prepayment penalty on the hard money, but nonetheless, there was an $8,000 loan origination fee, a doc fee of $499 as well, some small little prepaid interest. All those other things that I'll just block out there have the address of the individual units, kind of irrelevant. That's prorated rents over on the right because we closed on the 31st, and that's basically rents for the first couple days of the month. Escrow charges, $541, $225. Title charges, just over $1,000, and again, title escrow signing fee, $75. So as you can see, the number on the far right there, $212,000. That's what I have to pay. So every single other time I've purchased a property, I come to the table with a cashier's check, and it would have been for that amount. So I would have walked into my bank, gotten a cashier's check, and then driven to title. Pretty simple process. Now, what you might notice is, hey, wait, you have $244,000 of proceeds, but if you're doing a tax-deferred 1031 into only $212,000, you're right, the numbers don't add up. So what happens? This is called a surplus, and there's a surplus here of $32,000. So I'm going to be getting a check back for $32,000. Here's what's funny about that. I find it funny. After I pay the taxes on that money, which will be long-term capital gains, I'll have to double check my CPA on that small piece of money, but not that it really matters. I can imagine it's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 in taxes. The $20,000, $25,000 will pretty much cover almost all the renovations I need to do on the new 6 unit. So the way I like to think about this simple math, my duplex is in a much better location. Prime market, you can never go wrong, but I did see a lot more opportunity and more meat on the bones on the 6 unit. But simple math, I turned, my 110 grand that I'd put in, which was 2 units, I turned 2 into 6. Again, stick with my handwriting here. 2 into 6 is positive math. Pretty simple, it's a gain of 4. So I just like that snowball idea, and I wanted to see this process, even though I didn't want to or need to sell that duplex. It was just time. It was sitting there. It was nice and easy. It'd make me $1,000 a month for the rest of my life, and probably more as rents grow. Rents were already starting to be a little bit low, so probably could have been bumped up another $150 to $200 per unit. I mean, they were freaking gorgeous. I'll throw up some pictures of what they looked like. I mean, these were gutted, completely renovated, absolutely beautiful, beautiful units. Turnkey. They each had a yard. It was nice. So yeah, it is what it is, but that is kind of the breakdown on it. So I'll be getting some cash back. I actually was just working on the doc. I'll throw up a picture of some of it. I might have to block some of it out. But a document, Google Doc, that I'm sending to my property management company. Just things we're going to be working on right away. The plan, the target rents, exactly what we're looking to do. So it's pretty simple. I'll break down the rents for you right now. I have this sheet. I will take a picture of this and put it up, again, blocking out personal tenant names as well as the specific address. You can see the rents though. 814, 473. The reason it was 473, they told me, is because the lady was helping out around the property. Whatever that means. Now, my concern with that is if you actually, it doesn't even show it on this sheet, that person specifically, their lease expires today, the day I'm closing. So that's the 31st of January. That's a concern for me because what if they, they're in a personal relationship and now they're selling the property. What if they signed another year lease at the low rate? So I don't know. I don't think so. They would have had to technically disclose that. That was not in any of the lease files that I have. So we'll see. Another person, 763, 682, and then the studio that you had seen on the property, 605. So all the other units are 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I think the rents there are about $1,050, maybe $1,100 fully renovated. I see a lot of comps in the area around $1,000. Properties selling where the rents are $1,050. People trying to get $1,250, $1,300 for 2 bedrooms that don't even look that great. So it's a really, really hot growing area. I don't think we'll have trouble getting above $1,000. So as you can see, that will bump the average rents. You see the total there from $4,100. My underwriting will put us around $5,600 to $5,900 in gross rents. So raising the rents by about $1,500 a month or $18,000 a year in exchange for about $25,000, maybe $30,000 worth of work. So what we're adding to the value of the property, if you actually break this down, if you say you're going to add, let's say, $15,000 conservatively. We're going to add $15,000 a year, and there's not going to be any extra expenses to operate it with that extra money. All the other expenses are pretty much fixed, except the property management that takes a percentage of gross rents. So let's just call it $15,000. Divide that by 0.06, okay? That's the cap rate I'm purchasing this property at, and this is what the area is trading at. The more Phoenix metro area is more like a 4.5 right now, but this is slightly outside of that, so I can get a 6 cap, not a problem. That's adding $250,000 worth of value to the property just by bumping the rents by $1,500 a month across 6 units total, okay? So raising the rents $300 each unit, $250,000. I think I can do this. Just in under a year for sure. So there's multiple things here. We can get into the hard money stuff. Let me know if you want me to make a video breaking that down. I don't want this one to be too long, but the hard money is a 12-month term. I already told them straight up I'm going to extend. I have 2 separate 6-month options to extend. Both of those extension periods will cost me 1 point, which basically means 1% of the loan price, which is $408,000, so $4,000. As you'd seen back on the purchase side of things, the $8,000 loan origination fee, that $8,000 is 2 points. That's kind of the starting fee. So other lenders and hard money lenders are 1.5, others are 2.5, 3. I didn't really care. I like these guys. I want to be working with them. It's the broker I want to work with, and to me, I just don't really care about the couple $1,000. It will not make a difference in the long run. So the monthly interest only payments on this is $3,000 exactly, about $3,040. So it should be nice and solid. It's about break even right now. These rents are drastically below market value, and I think it'll be a really good project. Just to point it out with the numbers, if anybody's curious, the standard financing I was going to get was going to place my debt that payment at about $2,350 every single month. So this is about $650 more expensive and doesn't have any principal attached into that payment, but it's really not a big deal for me. This isn't a long-term hold. Again, I can turn around and place it on long-term debt if I want to. This project is going to be about a year. I plan on listing this for sale in month 11 and selling just after a year to get long-term capital gains tax rate. So that's the plan. It's a flip. It's going to be my first multifamily flip, and with a little bit of cash flow that'll start coming in towards the end of that. So 4 out of the 6 leases expire in the next 3 months, so the next 90 days. The other 2 are like at the end of the year. So we'll see. We'll get to prove the model, and if the units rent very quick, then we'll slowly start raising the price for the new units that we bring to market after we renovate them. So that's the plan. I don't think I missed anything. That is the sale of the duplex and the exchange of that into the 6 unit, talking about the 1031, the surplus, all the numbers behind it. I hope you appreciate the transparency. I hope this video earned a thumbs up. Yeah, I had a great day. That was just a day with real estate. And I don't know, I used to get more excited when I'd buy my first house. Obviously the house was cool. I've never really moved too much away from emotional baseline. This is really cool and stuff, but I was never stoked, it's just a deal. And I think that when you get in that, the repetition process, because you've gone through so many deals, underwritten so many deals, you've looked at stuff, you've studied so much, I do recognize how small this deal is. It's a very insignificant deal in terms of capital, but it is a significant deal for me in terms of learning and really seeing that entire process. So that's why I'm excited about it. But yeah, it's been a pretty mellow day. I'm excited to have this one added into the portfolio, and I'm excited to kick it the hell out in about a year. So that's honestly what's happening. Let me know if you like the real estate stuff. I know it doesn't get much views on the channel. I don't really care at all, but some people seem to enjoy it. I want to document that process because I make a lot more of my money with e-commerce. That's the day-to-day stuff that I do. That's the only thing I teach. I don't teach real estate except for, I guess, this. I hope you found this valuable in some way. But the e-commerce stuff is where my attention is. But at some point, you need a place to put the money. And I'll make videos talking about, maybe I'll do one later this month about kind of what I did with the first 100 grand or the first $1 million, because for a long time it was sitting there, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense, especially in today's market where cash is just getting destroyed. So yeah, you gotta have a place to put it. You gotta know what to do with that. So I've been having a lot of fun doing this. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram. I post a lot more stuff there. You can ask questions, DM me, whatever. I'm pretty active. And with that being said, hit the like button, subscribe. It's free. Don't be a cheap ass, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.